this little guy, and we've been on the Food Network for the frog. It's a marzipan-covered cake that has raspberry buttercream inside. And then these are also made out of marzipan. So this is the actual coloring of marzipan when you first see it, a little snowman. And then we did an orange one for a pumpkin, and then we made this little Christmas tree for a pediflor. The other thing we're most famous for is our Andersonville coffee cake, which is a cardamom flavored coffee cake. Cardamom is a spice similar to nutmeg, and you find it in a lot of Indian cooking. And it basically went across the spice trail to the Romans, and when the Romans decided that they would conquer the Norse people, they basically took that spice with them. Because you have to realize that in that day and age, pepper and salt were really expensive, and only kings and queens and noble people had it. So cardamom was a less expensive spice, and it was used to really mask meat that had sort of not really turned old, but sort of was on the verge of being rancid. So it was used to cover the flavor of that meat. Our bakery really has sort of changed from a definitely just Swedish bakery to a Swedish/European bakery. So we do a lot of things that are also European. For example, this French apple tart here in the middle. It's going to be an almond cake with fresh apples on the top, and then a glaze on the top of that. We also, the neighborhood has changed, and so since we only have 3% Swedes, we have a huge population that comes from the Middle East. We have a huge population of people that come from the Devon area, where you have basically Pakistanians and Muslims from that area, and Indians. And then we have, our neighborhood has changed, because if you walk from that up to us, you pass a Korean restaurant, a Middle Eastern restaurant, a Persian restaurant. Across the street is an old-fashioned Italian supper club, and then directly across from is Big Jones, and that is a Southern Coastal South restaurant. So, and he has won many James Beard Awards for using truly Southern cooking from the lowlands, and that's going to put you in the South Carolina area. That's considered the lowlands of the South. He's noted for his fried chicken, his gumbo, and things like that. And then you'll go up the street and you'll get a Mexican restaurant. The last Japanese restaurant just closed. So there's a huge, vibrant, multicultural area in this thing. We are asked if we're a kosher bakery, and we're not really Jewish culture, but we don't use any animal fats, because people who are Muslim or come from the Middle Eastern countries can't have any things that are pork products, or gelatin that's made from like animal hoofs and fish scales. So all of the glazes, like on this and our cakes over here, are done with a pectin, which is fruit juice in that.